Hey witches, if you are enjoying Waking Up the Witch, then you're definitely going to want to check out my magical shop, Moonbee's Wellness in Medford, Oregon. We have a curated collection of crystals, incense, sage, witchy books, tarot, oracle, and so much magic made locally here in the Rogue Valley. Whether you're just beginning your witchy path or you've been on this journey for quite a while, we have so many items to support where you are in your journey. And we ship anywhere in the US, so no need to be local. But Moonbees is more than just a shop. We are also a sacred space and supportive to your healing journey. I'm a Reiki master, and I also offer a lot of intuitive sessions, including past life readings and past life regression sessions. And all of this can be done virtually online, so I can help you no matter where you're at. Come visit us in Southern Oregon or follow Moonbees Wellness on Instagram and Moonbees_Medford on TikTok. And remember, magic's this way.
This episode of Waking Up the Witch is brought to you by Taylar Pickett Styles. I'm Taylar Pickett, and I am an intuitive hairstylist in Southern Oregon. I offer in-person services as well as online tutorials on how to care for your curly hair, how to properly shampoo your hair. If you're a hairstylist, I offer lots of education and one-on-one consulting on how to build your clientele and take care of your clients. If you're interested in any of these services, please reach out to me. There will be a link in the bio. I also offer organic hair care from Innocence Organic Beauty, and you can also buy that online through me, link in the bio, and also on my Instagram page, Taylar Pickett Styles. I also have a TikTok page if you're into just talking a little bit more deeply about things, going into deeper dives about hair care, self-love, and self-worth. My TikTok handle is Southern Oregon Curl. And don't forget, tame nothing, nourish everything. Enjoy this episode. I'm Taylar.
And I'm Amber.
And this is
Waking Up the Witch. We're your neighborhood witches. Each week, we talk about all things witchy and connect with other humans in a storytelling format about navigating life on this floating rock.
We're two curious ladies trying to understand the human experience. But while we do that, we think it's important to honor the people that lived here before us and honor the cultures and traditions that we're being inspired by.
This podcast is about waking up the witch, which means we are learning and growing every day. That being said, we are always open to feedback on how we can do better.
The views and opinions of our guests don't necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Waking Up the Witch. Now, let's go, ghouls.
So,
hi.
Hey.
What's going on?
Just, yeah, everything's great. I don't know.
Cool.
That was a really fun conversation.
I'm so glad we got this back on track.
Me too. I just feel like I feel really validated. I feel like hearing everything about you feels like very validating to as your friend. And
maybe I didn't. I knew there was a lot of Capricorn and Scorpio. Maybe I didn't know that I had multiple Virgo place. I guess I did, but I just didn't really understand what it meant.
Yeah, that was really
I knew
special.
my Venus was in Virgo because after we interviewed our Bravo astrologer friend, Alyssa, I knew to look at my Venus for like your Venus and your rising, right? For fashion and like how to dress and stuff. So I knew that, but
yeah, it's so good.
I didn't know my Chiron. Ever.
Yeah, Chiron's a big one. Really important.
Chiron being in Leo is interesting because my sister's Leo and I want to fight her.
Well, and like Leo's all about like being center stage and like being comfortable in the limelight and being like main character energy. But then like Chiron being the wounded healer, it's like your biggest wound and also like your biggest magic too. So like allowing yourself to be seen. What is going on out there?
Teenagers? Go look.
It's a herd of teenagers outside. Today's been a weird day in the outside world here.
Yeah. Well, we can't talk too much. We have so much to do today.
Yeah, it's quite a busy day.
And we still need to eat lunch so that we're nice to our next guest. So
Yeah, just this is a really fun, more unique episode, and you get to like learn a little bit about Taylar and I in regards to our charts and like what that means for us. So we hope you enjoy this one.
And
I certainly
make sure
did.
to check out a lot of her free resources
Yeah.
that she mentioned. It sounds like she has so much to offer, and so those will be down in the show notes. And don't forget to check out patreon.com/wakingupthewitch. You already know it's over there. Go check it out. You can do free. You can pay us. We like that too. So
So much fun stuff.
See you later.
Okay.
Enjoy.
So, okay,
All right,
let's
do
get
it.
into it then. Close your eyes if that feels good or if you're in a place to do so. And let's take 3 deep grounding breaths in through the nose and releasing out the mouth. Another big breath, breathing in beautiful, new, cleansing energy. Exhaling, releasing any worries or to-dos, just being here in this moment. And this last one, the biggest one you've had all day, breathe in and let it go. We like to invite in our spiritual guides, our ancestors, and our higher selves to help hold this loving container for openness and connection and magic. And we just trust that whatever is meant for the highest good of all here involved, as well as those listening sometime in the future, for all of that information to flow through today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, hello. Please introduce yourself and give us your big 3.
All righty. Well, my name is Anna-Thea, and I am a evolutionary astrologer and a divine feminine educator. So my specialty is, I give astrology readings, and I also teach the basics of astrology because I really feel like my company name is Transformational Astrology. And so what I teach is not just, come to me for an astrology reading, though that's exactly what I do, but it's more for you to really understand your soul's imprint. And so when you look at it over time, when you look at your chart, you're unfolding the mystery and you're understanding that on a deeper level. But what are my big 3s? My big 3 is, that I'm an evolutionary astrologer, that I live in the mountains, and that I am a queen of hearts. Am I answering the big 3 stuff?
That's a cute way of interpreting that. I really love that.
Yeah.
We were wondering like your sun, moon, and rising though.
Oh, that! You're
love
talking from
that,
an
though.
astrological point of view. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a new big 3.
I
Let's
love
get
it.
that.
That must be a millennial phrase. So yeah. So
Obsessed.
my sun is Libra, my moon is Sag, and my rising is Scorpio.
Whoa. I
Yeah.
also have a Libra sun and a Sag moon.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Love it. And I'm a
love it.
Scorpio.
And you're a Scorpio. That's great. What do you know the degree of your Sag moon?
Well, that I don't remember, but we'll get into it. You'll be able to tell me.
Oh, yeah, it's right in front of me. That's right. Now, I assume wait, let me see, Sag moon. Here we go. So actually the way it's on the screen is opposite of how you guys appear. So you're 23 degrees. I'm 2 degrees. So we're holding the gates at either side of the house. Not the house,
Amazing.
but the degrees.
So I would love to hear kind of like how you got into astrology and what interested you and how it turned into a business for you.
Well, it's even in my astrology. Whatever I explore, I always give back to everyone else. So I'm my first student and I'm inherently a teacher. But I was in the Divine Feminine Institute, and this was a mystery school that I was in 2000 and it was 2005 to 2007. But prior to that, I got into the love cards. And so I didn't mention that too. I do, when I give a reading, I do evolutionary astrology. So I look at one's natal chart. And then I also look at the love cards, and the love cards are based on numerology, astrology, and the 52 card playing deck. And so I have software to
Cool.
be able to, and I always start with the natal chart and then I go from there. And that's
That's
why I mentioned
neat.
I'm a Queen of Hearts. I'm a Queen of Hearts in it's also called the Destiny cards, but because I'm the Queen of Hearts, I it's called the Love cards and it's also called the Destiny cards, but I say the Love cards because I'm a Queen of Hearts in that system. Queen of
So
Hearts, Eight of
cute.
Diamonds, yeah. But
I've never
basically,
heard of that before.
oh, you've never heard of the Love card?
No,
Okay, so we're gonna
no.
have to figure out what cards you guys are
Play.
too. Yeah.
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 But why I got into astrology was in that mystery school. We had a teacher, a shamanic astrologer that was teaching about the inner beloved and the sacred marriage, alchemy, and looking at your natal chart and how to, how to work your inner beloved so that you could develop the sacred marriage within you. So that's what got
Aw.
me started with that. But prior to that, it was my sister Joanne, who you guys know from Inner Sense.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It was her mother-in-law that handed us girls in 1992 a book, an ancient book, prior to um, Robert Lee Camp, who's the main published author with the love cards. But it's an ancient system. I mean, he just happens to be so brilliant that he's written a lot of books about it, and he has a software program that he developed, and now he's developing an app. So he's just like nonstop.
Fun.
Cool.
And so I knew about the love cards before I started doing astrology, but then, it just all kind of culminated, always interested in that. And
Yeah, I
so
was wondering if it was more like your parents that were into the, like, spiritual or it was Greg's?
it would, no, it was Greg's, yeah, yeah, interesting, right?
That's
I know.
awesome.
Cute.
Yeah, so it was Greg's mother who was into it. My parents were very spiritual. My dad was very spiritual, but very traditional Catholic kind of thing,
Mhm.
So I'm a
Yeah.
recovering Catholic or recovered Catholic.
Most of us are here on this podcast. I think a recovering Catholic makes a great witch.
Yeah,
Truly.
exactly.
Okay, so I think if you want, since we have a short period of time together, if we want to jump into the charts and you can kind of explain as you go your method and what things mean to you and how you read them.
Okay.
Yeah, and also keeping in mind, Waking Up the Witch
Yeah.
here, we really love to break down and simplify things because there are a lot of people out there who are maybe like getting into this for the first time. And it's, astrology can be very daunting and overwhelming. So maybe even like breaking down a little more deeply of like, what does the sun sign represent and what does Libra represent? And just kind of giving a little bit
Yeah.
more details so that this isn't just like something that people can't wrap their minds around
Right.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be very technical. Um,
Mhm.
Sure.
and just to mention my website, if you go to my website, Anna-Thea.org, and scroll down, it says Learn Astrology. You can go to, and you're going to get a free class. It's an hour long, and it's a PowerPoint
Awesome.
presentation on decode your astrology chart. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. We're gonna do
So
that for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, and so what I really believe is that we are all mysteries and we're not accidents, and
Mm.
we are ourselves unfolding. And there's many different tools. There's the human design, there's the love cards, there's Western astrology, there's Vedic astrology, there's constellational astrology, which is sidereal astrology. So, then it's not like any one is better than the other. They all are basically just tools and lenses for you to understand yourself on a deeper level. A very dear, dear friend of mine and healer, I remember her saying this years ago, if at the end of your life, the only person that you got to know was yourself, life would have been worth living. And so all of these
I love
tools,
that.
I know, I know. So, it's because basically what we are in is we're caught in this reincarnation cycle, and we're just on this hamster wheel, just doing the same patterns lineage wise, passing it down to our kids and repeating the cycles. And so that's what I love about evolutionary astrology. It helps you to understand um, what you've been working on. So evolutionary astrology
Cool.
is Western astrology. It is geocentric. It's looking from the earth, like we're earthlings and looking out into the cosmos. Basically, evolutionary astrology comes with the idea that we are eternal beings. Okay.
Mhm, mm,
And we are here with, so, and that's the beauty of it too, because our society is all about trying to get things and trying to be successful and get more and be jealous because it's especially like on social media, that person has more than I do. And oh, woe is me and
mhm.
all the victim energy. And it's like, if you can have the mindset, like, okay, so you don't have a Mercedes Benz, your friend does, or whatever the case is, but you've had a Mercedes Benz multiple times in past lives,
Mm,
or you're going to, or you're even in another dimension right now driving a Mercedes. So you've got to, lighten up and understand that you're exactly where you need to be right now and actually be in that experience. And whatever you haven't achieved in your mind in this lifetime, well, have eternity to get any of these things done. And when you start coming from that point of view, then you can start just settling into the experience and the beauty and the grace of being in a human body.
so
I
cool.
love that.
We all need that.
Yeah, I know. And we're all
Life
like,
can be
oh,
overwhelming.
it is. And being in,
Yeah,
it takes a lot of courage to be here. As a matter of fact, I
right.
don't know if I mentioned to you guys, I'd have to undo my thing and grab the book, but I wrote a book, Empower Yourself by Loving Your Body, The Woman's Guide to
Okay.
Reclaiming Yourself as Sacred.
Oh,
So,
amazing.
that is about slowing down and accepting who you are and all your good, bad, and ugliness, right? And so, and astrology helps you do that as well. So with
Mhm.
evolutionary astrology, we talk about the nodes. So you got your sun, your moon, and your rising, and I'll go into those. But we also put an emphasis on the nodes, which are every planet has nodes, but these are the nodes of the moon, which is the north node and the south node. And astronomically, it's basically from Earth, we've got the moon orbiting the Earth, right? And then we've got the sun, the Earth orbiting the sun, but then that creates a line also around the Earth, traces a line. It's called the ecliptic, right? And so those two lines that go around the Earth are circles, basically. They're not exactly on top of each other, but they're off. They can get off maximum by 5 degrees. And so where they touch and intersect on one side is called the north node, and where they intersect on the other side is called the south node. And it's the north node and the south node. Have you guys ever heard of the north node and the south node?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
my favorite part of astrology.
Awesome. Awesome.
And what I've learned so far, there's still so much to learn, but
Yeah,
I've been
they're,
geeking out
yeah.
for probably 3 or 4 years
Oh,
on the
good.
nodes because 'cause I'm
Awesome.
just like,
Awesome.
it
Wait, no,
feels
and
very
and I have to
romantic.
look opposite because it says Taylar Amber, but you're actually Amber, right?
I'm Amber,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I'm okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I have your charts here correctly. But basically, do you know what the nodes are? Did you know that they were that?
I did not know that.
No, I never knew the access points like that. Like, I wanted to tell you how excited I was that you were talking about the nodes, but I didn't want to interrupt because I was learning something new about the
Awesome.
nodes too.
So, and why I like to do the astronomy of it, even though I don't really explain it perfectly, is that it's because we're in a dualistic dimension, because we're in a male, female, masculine, feminine dimension. It's basically the ecliptic of the sun, which is masculine, and the orbit of the moon, which is feminine. And the moon, when we look
Mhm.
into the sky, it's interesting that the moon is basically the same size as the sun. There is a relationship between these two. Now,
Mhm.
I have to add on to it, though, too. There's so much conspiracy around the moon. The moon doesn't fully float my boat, and she moves way too fast. So I want to teach and talk and follow more the Venus than I do the moon. But I mean, it's all good. I
Nice.
still follow
Yeah.
the moon. But anyway, that's the dimension that we're in. We're in this
Mhm.
masculine feminine, and that's the portal that we come into. And 12 there's 6 different types of portals and 12 different versions, or there's 2 versions for each portal. For
Okay.
example, Amber, yours is North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio, but it can also be South Node Taurus, North Node Scorpio.
Okay.
Okay. So, we flip. And if you probably have somebody in your life that has nodes that are opposite to you. And so
Oh,
then
I'm sure I do. Yeah.
and then that these are people that you can learn from, because the south node
Cute.
is the energy that you come from,
Mhm.
and the north node is the energy that you're working towards.
Mhm.
And so if you attract someone in your life, or you know someone in your life that has, like for you, you have South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus. You could attract someone in with the South Node Taurus. You're working towards Taurus, and they already are coming in with Taurus energy. So
Yeah,
it's
that
a
makes sense.
beneficial, it's a
Cute. I like that. Yeah. I have friends and people of all ages in my life, so I'm sure there is somebody.
yeah, you're looking for someone that's 9 years apart,
Mhm. Mhm.
because the
Cool.
nodes come around every 9 years. Or actually, would it be 18? I'm sorry. Am I saying that?
18.
18? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so what are we talking about?
Cool.
The sun, the moon, and the rising? You want me to talk about that?
I think maybe just pick one of our charts and we can like dive into it. And as we go into each thing, you could kind of talk about
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that
So
make sense?
since you're
Okay.
talking, I'm going to do you first, Taylor. Okay.
Cool. How
Well,
excited.
and it's interesting. Both of you have a boatload of Scorpio when I look at the
Yeah.
charts together, which is very interesting. Okay, so Taylor, your sun is in Scorpio and Mars is right there next to it. Did you know that?
I don't know. I look at it all the time, but I don't retain any of it.
Well, that I know, and that's what's is so interesting. But Scorpio, when we have Scorpio energy, I don't have like blatant Scorpio energy. I'm Scorpio rising, but both of you have, like you, Taylor, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Scorpio, and then you have kind of the same 1, 2, 3, but you have Juno in Scorpio as well, and your
Oh.
South Node. But both
Mhm.
of you basically have a boatload of Scorpio. Maybe that's what attracted you to the witchy poo,
Well, and
Yeah, I love it.
we
the
love to go
underworld.
deep here
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Scorpio also is about, facing your limitations. Scorpio is about power, but through disempowering experiences, right? And so
Mm.
when you're on the scorpionic path, you're not on the surface dweller path, you're on the deep dive path. And so having
Mhm.
these experiences, whether it be loss, betrayal, abandonment, disempowerment, it's attraction and repulsion. It's also, sexual energy, using your sexual power, but then also possibly being rejected. The downside, or the negative expression, I would say, of Scorpio would be using your sexuality to manipulate and control, you know. And so evolving past that, and because
Yeah.
it's power, and it's sex, power, and money, right? It's
Mhm.
the second chakra. But Taylor, your Mars, which is your inner masculine, is right there. I would say, and without being crude, you probably have a very strong sex drive, both of you, actually. Right? Oh, she's not going to
Sure.
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, yes. I mean, I have a toddler, so I'm just thinking like it
Yeah.
could be more, but I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
plan
yeah,
it
yeah,
now,
yeah. You're right, right. That it's ultimately the light and fluffy is, oh, it's about sex and sexual attraction and all of that. But ultimately, the truth of Scorpio is the evolutionary path, that deep, dark, processing of underworld emotions, the shadow side of yourself, facing disempowering experiences, whether that be through loss or betrayal or abandonment,
Yeah.
but rising through that, and really, a deep emotional work. And
Mhm.
91 and 85. So, I don't know if you guys have had these experiences where you've felt knocked down
Definitely.
to the ground and had to kind of be the rising phoenix to come
A
back
lot.
Right.
up. Yeah. And so,
I resonate with that.
yeah, and so it's like not being afraid of the dark, not being afraid to feel your feelings, not being afraid to master your emotions. Like your emotions are part of your psyche, and they're guideposts to help you understand what's happening inside of you, you know.
Mhm.
But that sun and Mars, very strong, fierce, scorpionic energy. Now, the other thing, and I remember a friend of mine saying this years ago, and I don't know if it's true, but Scorpio, the Scorpio is the representation of, the scorpion is the representation of Scorpio, and scorpions are the only ones that kill themselves, that sting themselves.
Oh.
So, self-sabotaging, like
Mhm.
being so fierce and so intense and so reactive that you can, or even so overpowering, because it's all, and your Pluto and your Mercury are there as well, that you can be overbearing to other people. And it's so funny because all three of us, I have Scorpio, not like you guys. I have Scorpio rising, I have Mars in the 8th house, and I have Pluto up at the top of my chart. And I have Neptune in Scorpio. And so these are all like, you don't see them immediately, but like you would with your charts, but it's like I have a lot of
Mhm.
Scorpio in me as well. And I remember I
Mhm.
would have these fierce, intense eyes when I'd get upset with people, and it was not a good way to connect with people.
We millennials call that RBF, resting
Yeah.
bitch face.
I love it. I love it. So anyway, Taylar, but and what's interesting is that all of your Scorpio is in the house of Scorpio. So it's not exact, but you almost have
Mm.
what's called a natural chart. Are you familiar
Hmm.
with that?
That makes sense.
No.
So the very first part of the chart starts with Aries and then goes forward in order. The last sign is Pisces.
Mhm.
Well, you're 18 degrees rising, but that's where your rising sign is. That's where everyone's rising sign is. And that's Pisces. Okay. So it's a little bit
Mhm.
off by half of a house, but basically, and depending upon what house you use too, but basically, it puts all your Virgo is in the house of Virgo. Your Leo is in the house of Leo. Your Cancer is a little bit between your Leo and your Cancer house. Your Capricorn is all in your Capricorn house.
Crazy.
Oh, except for Juno, which is not a planet, but that's in your Aquarius house. And then your Aquarius is in your Aquarius house. So,
Okay.
you
Is
know,
that common?
I see it. It's not common. I mean, it's common enough. It's not uncommon. It's not every chart is so unique and different, but you're like, it just magnifies. So your Scorpio, all of that scorpionic energy is sitting in the house of Scorpio. And so,
Okay.
Just doubling down on that
oh my God. So
Scorpio.
yeah, so 4 planets in Scorpio, and then we're put it in this. So it's like, how much emotional, psychological processing have you done? I mean, you're still very young, but yes. So I mean, it would be, it's just, don't be afraid to feel your feelings. That's your power. And I actually have an article on my website, how to process your emotions. And that's one I give out with often with readings. And it's really how to understand because you're going to have, it's a water sign. You're going to have deep emotions. You're going to have that depth.
Mhm.
And if you plug them up, of course, the downside of it is secrets of shutting down, of closing down, or really more secrets, because Cancer is the one that closes down.
Well, Taylor's big 3 are all the water signs too, to
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more
So
emotional.
yeah, you definitely want to read that article. I call it the
I'll look it up.
and I mean, I'm a lot older than you guys, and post after menopause, and so when you're in menopause, you're riding a wave like this.
Mhm.
And then after that, things become a little bit more tonic. So I was a draw, and I am a queen of hearts, and I still am pretty, you know, I can be pretty intense, but age heals you if nothing else.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I can
Mhm.
imagine that you are definitely a number one, a powerhouse. And I
Truly.
haven't even looked any further. We're occupying all this time on that scorpionic energy. Just it's intense and deep psychological functions, because you've got Pluto and Mercury next to each other. And so that is like, Mercury is how we think. So you're a super deep thinker.
Mhm.
I think I also have Mercury. I know I have Pluto in Scorpio because that's
Yeah, Aries
generational,
You
but
do,
also.
yeah.
I think
And
I
you have
also have
Mercury as
Mercury in
well. Yeah,
Scorpio.
totally.
So that's
See, and your
interesting.
south node is there, Amber. And so you come
Mhm.
from Scorpio. You
Mhm.
have a past life markers. And the other thing with Scorpio, trust issues. So not
Mhm.
easily, not easily trusting others, because of it can't, you can, and I don't want to talk about all the dark things, but these are very real things in our world,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And, so it's not just this life that happened. These are
Mhm.
imprints. Evolutionary astrology is like your chart is a imprint of where all the planets were when you took your first breath. And it tells a story
Mhm.
of who you are, what you came here to do, and what you're working on. And so,
Mhm.
but all of like that much Scorpio means that you have lifetimes of trust, you've been betrayed in past lives. And so
Mhm.
learning how to trust and learning how to honor your emotions, which are your radar that are going to keep you safe. Like if you get this intuitive hit or you get a gut feeling or, something doesn't feel right or someone says something that um, pushes your boundaries and you
Mhm.
don't say something, you need to definitely learn how to, I mean, you're sensing
Yeah.
it for sure. But our minds can, you know, concoct a whole different story. And
Totally.
so being able to do checking questions, boundary setting, all that fun stuff that, our society doesn't teach us how to do. So Scorpio,
Right.
both of you guys are definitely not on the surface dweller path. You're on the deep
No.
diver path.
I think that makes so much sense for this podcast and like what we do because we
Go
we
deep.
just love to go deep and talk with people about, their upbringings and all of the good, bad and ugly that come with that and, but like knowing that that is kind of the formula and the magic that helps us develop into the people that we are today too. And so we
Yeah.
just love to like get right down deep with people.
Yeah, I know. And it's so
I
funny because
hate
I don't,
surface conversation.
right,
It's
right. And
so
I don't,
uncomfortable.
want to hide myself either, but I didn't want to
Mhm.
come on and just bear everything out to the whole world because I didn't,
That's
didn't know you guys and all that stuff. And then I go on Instagram and I see my sister crying on your wall and I was like, "Oh no,
yeah.
I don't know if I want
She
to do
made
that."
us cry too. So beautiful.
But
Love that.
anyway, okay, so where do I want to go from here? So that's your sun, but it's packed with all kinds of intensity like that. Mars is the masculine. Pluto is power. Mercury is the psychological function. Sun is radiance, and also a very masculine, fiery energy.
Mhm.
So that's such an intense path already that you've chosen with that. There is a square to Chiron in Leo. So I'm glad that you're doing this podcast because your Chiron's in Leo, and that's where your mastery is, but also your wound. So Leo is about leadership. Leo is about confidence. Leo is about, and it's interesting. So okay. So this is where your witchy poo stuff comes in because you spoke or you had some level of leadership and you probably lost your life in, the witches, right? The witch hunts and all that stuff. Do you guys
Mhm.
resonate with that? That
Totally.
Totally.
you guys were there? Do you have any remembrance of any of that?
I actually have direct lineage to the witch
Wow.
trials.
And
Wow.
I have so many chills right
Yeah,
now.
like,
So
Wow.
I've always been told that, like, by family, but then, now with Ancestry.com and those things, like, I have a family member who has, like, literally drawn it all the way back to Rebecca Nurse, and she was as far as the research I've done, she was one of the final witches to be prosecuted. She was and also the oldest, and she was just, like, an herbalist and a healer
Right, right.
and her two sisters also were prosecuted. And it's interesting fact about them is Hocus Pocus is loosely based on them. So it's Sarah and what's the other sister's name? Oh my god, my brain's anyways. But aside from Winifred, the two sisters, that's like their actual names too, which is interesting. So, they're not like eating children and stuff, but they kind of like took the three sisters that were killed in Salem and made a Disney movie out of it.
Wow. And
So
so this was in the
that
US.
I know for sure. Yes, yes, this was in
Wow.
Salem.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's like pretty wild. And then it's interesting too, because our other business partner for another project that we do, she also has direct lineage to the same sisters. So we're like totally family and found each other here randomly in Medford, Oregon, which is interesting. And I've done meditations, like past life meditation, where like it was, and we can easily talk ourselves out of these things, but I really got a strong sense that like I was there or with them also in a past life too. So, I think it does run very deeply. And I think no matter what, all of us on some level hold the witch wound, whether we were
Oh, yeah.
burned or prosecuted or stoned, or we were once pointing the finger, like we all have connection to that. And there is a deep wound that we're all, not all of us, but a lot of us now are trying to heal and reclaim our voices and be out loud, about our healing practices or our ideas and beliefs, or just being loudmouth bitches in this world today because we would have been prosecuted for that once
Right.
upon a time. So we're just kind of like having this reclamation and this healing journey around it. Like having our own thoughts and feelings and belief systems is pretty radical back in the day. So
Yeah. And,
we're
and you
just
know
trying
what?
to heal that.
Yeah, and I used to teach a class. I haven't looked at the curriculum in a long time, but it's manifesting more pleasure. I used to teach mastering your emotions, manifesting more pleasure, communicating to be heard and understood, which I still kind of teach that one a lot because everyone, the other ones are deeper. And then I do yoni egg. I have a whole beautiful yoni egg class. And that's all when I was I
Amazing.
am a divine feminine educator, but I was really out there promoting all of that stuff. But that with the whole thing with the voice, us having a
Mhm.
voice
Mhm.
is huge. That's the throat chakra. We all know that. I mean, hopefully
Mhm.
most of us know that, but it's really shut down. And what it is we are either shut down and closed off, or we're yelling and screaming. And we
Yeah.
have no way, we have not learned. And I've been studying this for years. Teach heart talk as opposed to head talk. And even though I know it,
Mm.
our colloquial language is head talk. And so we don't speak from our hearts with each other. And we have been taught to speak in a way that puts the other person on the defensive. And so, like you said,
Mhm.
having a voice out, like all the different spaces and places that you mentioned. But one of the key things that we can really work on to claim our power, and it can be very, right at home, is just with our closest relationships and
Mhm.
and speaking, because I see it all the time how people are speaking. And when I do astrology readings, and when they're having challenges in their relationships, because that's my specialty in astrology, is basically, I can't tell you where's the best place on the planet to live or what stocks to buy, but I can help you with your relationships, right? And be a better
Mhm.
Yeah,
communicator, and
that's valuable.
ask for what you need and open your heart more, and those kinds of things. So, yeah, look, we didn't learn how to speak without putting a person on the defensive. We use the words you hurt me.
Mhm.
You hurt me. Stop hurting me. Stop doing that. So we're like micromanaging, and we're using our power in a distorted way instead of
Mhm.
coming back to like eye awareness and be like, and this is really big for scorpionic energy, coming back and tuning into your body and going, ouch. Could you imagine if you're having like some, your partner or whoever you're, dealing with says something, and you respond in you don't react outward, you react inward. Like they say something, and a lot of times people will say things and they don't even mean to hurt you, you know?
Right.
And so they say something and then you get a hit, but often we just cover it up and we react or we shut down. But to be able to in that moment go, ooh, ouch, that really hurt my heart.
Mhm.
It's just as a fun way to play in relationship. But
Yeah, I definitely am like very reactive or I just shut the fuck down. Like
right,
I
right,
haven't,
right.
especially this week with my husband. I'm just like, he says something and I'm just like, I'm just going to stop talking because I'm going to fight you. Like we keep speaking. And so I just like stop talking because
Right.
I haven't figured out. But then I do think I have like a very quick rebound always. And then
Yeah,
I'll be
that's a
like,
gift.
hey,
I do not.
like, I'm sorry that I was reactive or whatever. Like, I'll go in the store and by the time I come back out, I'll be like, sorry about that. Or,
Right,
but
but nonetheless, whatever he
in the
said
moment.
affected you. It affected you.
Well, yeah, he's annoying me.
Right. And so
Why
this
does
is
he
the
do
first
that?
thing. When I was first learning how to do it, and I'm saying I've been doing this for years, and it's not easy because we have to, especially both of you with all this scorpionic energy, it's like tuning into the waves of energy. It's power.
Mhm,
The emotions are energy in motion. And so really
mhm.
feeling that I'm going to give you, can I share two stories, personal stories?
Sure,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the first one was, because I'm trying to think, oh shoot, I forgot the first one already. So when I was first learning this heart talk thing, which is nonviolent communication, which I don't like the title of that anyway, but it's really speaking from your heart. We are reactive when we just shut down or we overreact and we're missing each other in the process. And so when I first started practicing, and every single person in every single moment is your practice partner, because I'm sure you've had situations where you said, shoot, I should have said this in that moment, but we
Mhm,
just don't think about it at the time. And we think about it later, how we could have handled the situation better. But anyway, if you get some key phrases, it helps. So what I teach is like, that hurt my heart. Instead of shutting down, instead of walking away and slamming the door, instead of lashing back out, you take a breath and you just say, that hurt my heart. And I remember the first time when I was practicing this, I went to a yoga class and I was laying out my yoga mat, and one of my, co-yoga yoginis was there. She wasn't a girlfriend, but she was a friend. And she laid out her mat, and I can't even remember what she said, but I could feel it in my body. And that's where we want to
mhm,
get with all that scorpionic energy, is you want to
mhm,
feel that burst of emotion, that, some reactive stuff, that the trigger, what that's happening inside of you. And so I felt like that, it was in the belly. So that's my low self-esteem, right? That's me not feeling good enough.
Mm,
But
mhm.
and then I s but I of course I said I hurt my heart, but it's this whole area where you that what we're working through is how to have a sense of self, and how to open our hearts to others and ourself equally. But anyway, whatever she said, I said, oh, I could feel it. So I'm paying attention to my body, starting to really pay attention to my body and how my body is reacting to my environment and other people. And I said, oh, that hurt my heart. And it was a trip to see her response. She goes, "Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you."
Mm.
You know? And it just
yeah,
softened the energy.
All I'm
reframe.
thinking while you're saying that is how, like, not listening to our bodies is what's, like, trapping our emotions. Because
Mhm,
Amber does body code, and so
Mm,
it's, like, so much illness and so much, like, disease and, like, heartache and all this stuff happens because we don't know how to listen when it's happening in the moment, so it just, like, stores itself there.
yeah,
You
totally.
know what I mean?
And it's like one after the other, after the other, after the
mhm,
other.
But how much we could free ourselves from so much, like, literal illness if we were able to tune in like that
Yeah,
in the moment
yeah.
and to recognize it.
mhm.
And just release
You
it
might be out
in
of a job, though.
No, no, we still have a
We still
long
have a
way to
lot of
go.
emotional
Yeah. Yeah,
baggage.
we still have a lot of stuff. And I've been doing this for years, and still I stuff it when I don't want to.
Totally.
So okay, so let
Good.
me get back to that other story, because I think
Yeah.
especially for scorpionic energy, and we haven't even gotten any further in the charts, but for Scorpios, I mean, because you guys both have like boatload, and your podcast is Witchy Poo. What's the title of your podcast? It's
Waking up the
The
witch.
Witch. Okay, yes. And so, I mean, we can't even get past the scorpionic stuff here.
I mean, I think that's important, clearly.
Totally, totally. And
Uh-huh.
it's powerful. But so the other one that I did, and so it's so much fun, and it brings so much aliveness when you really use your peeps as your practice partner. your lover, your opposite sex lover and same sex doesn't really matter, but because those are like very deep connections, and we can really, we come together in a trigger bond. And,
Mhm.
and so unraveling that is such powerful work. That's why making your peeps your practice partners and becoming more transparent in your communication, really what happens is you're peeling away generational programming, if you can kind of start to like
Mm.
speak in a whole new way with the person instead of the
Mhm.
cycles that we.
Totally.
So anyway, the other one was I was in a relationship and he was my practice partner. I was triggered. My abandonment wounds were being triggered up one side, down the other,
Mhm.
and so and again, I can't remember. And so this is what happened. We have arguments and then we can say like, I don't even remember what it was that upset me. Right. That's how
Right.
unconscious we are. So anyway, he said something, but at that point I'm really diligently practicing eye awareness, being in my body. And he said something and I could feel my whole body freeze up. And
Mm.
I instead of reacting, like putting out my sting or whatever, however I would react, I said,
Mhm.
you know what? I just felt my whole body freeze up. And it's so funny to see their reactions too, because it's like kind of
It
jaunts their
interrupts
well,
everything.
right. It interrupts the
I'm not
Uh-huh.
cycle
used
and
to it.
and the circuits. And I said, wow, I just felt my whole body just freeze up. I said, I'm going to go in the other room and see what that's all about. So
Mhm.
Okay.
I went in and I literally went in the other room, sat on the couch, and it was so fascinating because the minute I got out of his energy field, I could
Mhm.
feel me. So being this,
Yeah, that
would you
makes
say
sense.
that you're empaths?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And so we start feeling their feelings and we're not feeling our feelings, and we disconnect from ourselves and we people please and we don't set healthy boundaries. We're putting, going along to get along and all of that. So I could immediately understand it, gain clarity. And all I did was the 4N process, which is what I talked about earlier, the article that I have on my website. Notice, name, nurture, and need. Under any uncomfortable feeling is an unmet need. And I just remember, I got to my core need and I just went out there and I told him what I needed. They said, oh, and I'm a little more clear. I was calm the whole time, which is not normally when I'm upset, is not
Mhm.
normally how I react. And,
Mhm.
and so, and he was so like shocked. And it's funny how I can't even remember what the particulars were on that. All I remember so profoundly is the actual new path of navigating it and how profound
Mhm.
that actually was. So,
So helpful.
yeah,
I'm
so
like, will I remember this the next time I get into a fight with my
right.
husband?
Right. And then otherwise we're in the same old cycle over and
I
over and
know.
over again, and we actually push them into not getting what we want kind of thing,
Yeah.
So
I think,
anyway,
like, speaking of this, like, when I think about it, like, when we are fighting, me and my husband, like, the biggest trigger for me is, like, being misunderstood. Like, whatever I said was, like, misinterpreted.
yes.
And then I'm like, yeah, then put on the defense immediately where I'm like, that's not at all what I meant. Those aren't even the words that I said. And then we just get in this loop about whose feelings are hurt and we both are hurt. And so, yeah. And then it's like, that's always like the same fight, no matter what it is. It's like, that's the core cycle of it. So
Right, and
I
trying to
hope
prove.
that I remember this of like,
Well, okay, so
you
this is,
know,
well, you could, give you a copy of the article. We could put that maybe in the show notes, how to
Yeah,
great.
process your
Yeah.
perfect.
We would love
emotions.
that
And then
because I think that's really valuable.
it really is. It's a game
Yeah.
changer in relationship, and it's really
Mhm.
just the tip of the iceberg. But, one of my teachers said, the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to know what you need and be able to
Mm.
ask for it. And these are core needs, not I need you to stop being a jerk, not that.
Right. Yeah.
I need understanding. I need space. I need time. I need patience. I need cleanliness. I need to feel heard and understood. Those are core needs. Big one
Yeah.
is the heard and understood.
Yeah.
So the most powerful thing you can do is know what you need and be able to ask for it. or give it to
Mhm.
yourself,
Yeah.
because sometimes they can't give it to you, but you have to give it to yourself. And
Right.
then the
Mhm.
most loving thing you can do is help other people get connected to their needs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because when I used to do coaching with women, before I was doing astrology reading, I was doing coaching with women, and I'd ask them, what do you need? And the most common answer was, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's like so hard, especially as women, is like we've
Yeah,
just kind of been programmed by society to like be nurturers and caregivers to everyone else that like we are so removed from our own bodies and our own hearts and our own minds that like, yeah, like I literally would say, I don't even know, like today. And I have so much going on that of course I have needs, but like where to even think about letting anyone else try to help is
right.
it feels that feels like another chore, another thing to, like, have to figure out, that it's like, I could just, like, get it done. I know what I need, and I'm just gonna do it.
But also when you're upset and you can do that 4N process, notice, name, nurture, need, which is in that article, it grounds you. It slows you down
Yeah.
and it grounds you, and then it gets you connected to that more vulnerable place inside. Now, the other thing that you could do, you could go another angle when you guys are in that cycle, you can say, "Honey, what is it you really need?" And then
Mhm.
you get quiet. See, this is the beauty of that communication, is less is more. So we always
Mhm.
want to, because we know it. We can
Mhm.
see the whole thing. We have access to both sides of our, the female body has access to both sides of their brain, more
Mhm.
interconnectivity. We can see it so simply, but we have to slow way down. And,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like,
Get real present, real
yeah.
mindful, which
Anyway,
when you're fired up and pissed off, that's so
oh, I know.
hard to
No,
do.
but on the scorpionic path, if you really want to go the evolutionary path, that's what both of you guys are really need, because what you want is deep. You want, Scorpio is also about intimacy.
Yeah, totally.
It's not just sex, it's intimacy, and
Yeah.
intimacy is into me, I see. So this is not an overnight process. This is a journey. Okay. So, but okay. So I think because we're limited on time now, I want to give
Yeah.
you both a
I
little bit of
know.
juice here. So this Scorpio stuff is so much both of you. And I love that both of you are doing this Waking Up the Witch podcast, because, that's what it really is standing in our strength, in all of our witchy poo-ness, and having a voice, right? Um,
Mhm.
Cute. Love
so
that for us.
you're Capricorn, Taylor. You have a lot of Capricorn. Your North Node's in Capricorn, and you've got
Mhm.
Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn. So you're not. Oh, you are the millennial, which has the node right in between, which is fascinating. So
Please.
you're really here to bring to balance, because like, for example, my generation we'd sell out to the corporation for success and the 3-car garage and the McMansion and all that. Millennials aren't going to do that. Millennials are like, hey, if it doesn't float my boat, if it doesn't awaken my soul, I'm not doing it. So I'm not doing it
Oh,
just, what you also, besides all that Scorpio energy that you have a lot of Capricorn in the house of Capricorn, and you have a lot of Virgo. Well, you have Venus and Jupiter in Virgo, in the house of Virgo, and it's on an angle, which puts it on steroids. So you are very capable. Extremely, I would say you're very, they say if you want to get something done, hire either a Virgo or a Capricorn, and you have both. You're very strong markers in both. So, do you feel that you are always a hard worker, very capable, very reliable, want to make things better? Virgo wants to make things better, you know.
yes.
uh,
Yeah,
and then
that's definitely Taylor.
So, okay, and then your moon is in Cancer, though. So the portal that you came in on is Cancer Capricorn. So even though you're very, very capable, you're also super sensitive. Your moon is right there on the South Node as well. But if I'm looking at your chart, Taylor, it's pretty
I
amazing.
mean, that's how we go.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have all that, if I were to summarize it, you've got all that intensity with the Scorpio, power, force, right? But then you've got that reliability and that hardworking, and with the Capricorn and the Virgo wanting to make, Virgo really wants to make things better, more functional.
Mhm.
But then you also have Pisces rising and South Node in Cancer. And so there's this, you're really, you're that ultimate millennial, which is a combination of Neptune and Uranus. And I don't know if you guys know that, the way I see it is that the millennials are in that
Mm-mm.
time period, like 1989 to maybe 95 is when, basically when
Okay.
Uranus and Neptune. And I don't know what range you guys consider the millennials, because Amber, do you consider yourself a millennial as well?
Yeah.
I'm definitely, they call us geriatric millennials
Elder. It's just
or elder
elder.
millennials.
But so the
I've
real
never said
true, like the
geriatric.
geriat, no, but you're the senior, millennials. But the ones that are like the
Yeah.
real, like
Mhm.
the millennial, like the ultimate millennial is when Uranus and Neptune came together. And these are transpersonal planets.
Okay.
These are really slow moving planets that carry evolutionary impulses for us to evolve. And so Uranus is the higher vibration of Mercury, which Mercury is the mind, and Neptune is the higher vibration of Venus, which is the heart. And so with you, Taylar, you've got this
Cool.
millennial marker, but you've got the North Node right in between it. And the North Node is the direction that your soul wants to go. And so it's really, in my generation, it was like we sold out to the corporations. We gave our
Mhm.
heart and our soul to the big companies, worked our whole life, got a big McMansion, 3-car
Mhm.
garage or whatever, and then retired and died, right?
Mhm.
And so the millennials aren't going to do that. If it doesn't float your boat, if it doesn't
Mhm.
juice your soul up, you're not going to do it. So you're here to
Mhm.
really balance the head and the heart energies. And now the millennials are the upcoming, or they are the current, like, growing adults. You are the adults now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so you're here to be the way showers for a head heart existence is that's how I see it, of
Yeah, that
balancing the
makes
head
me
and the
emotional.
heart.
I definitely feel that.
And so when I look at your chart, Taylar, I see a very capable woman, very intense, very claiming your power or wanting to claim your power. Scorpio is going to, like, you want to claim your power? Okay, well, I'll give you these experiences so that you can really transform and be the rising phoenix,
Mhm.
right? It's through hard knocks that we actually learn. But then very capable, practical, logical, hardworking, Virgo, and your Venus is it's like on steroids, and Venus, and it's right next to Jupiter. So that is so much like, I want a better world. I want to make things more refined and better functioning. So you have all of these huge, strong, powerful impulses in your chart. And then you have South Node Cancer and rising Pisces. And so that's like, yeah, but I'm not going to sell my soul to do it. It's going to have to involve the feminine. It's going to have to take into
Mhm.
consideration the warm fuzzy, the softness, the emotional aspect, or the masculine and feminine. You're taking into consideration, and even spirituality. Pisces is spirituality. And also Pisces is everybody. Pisces is the whole
Mhm.
world, and Pisces is of service. Oh, and it's interesting, those two markers that are the super sensitive markers, the Cancer South Node is, and that's the nodes that you came in on, is the Cancer Capricorn, right? And their polarities. So Cancer is, I'm not ready yet. Let me just think about it. Let me take my time. Let me just, maybe in a few days. Whereas Capricorn is, I am ready to rock and roll. I'm going to conquer the world and make it happen. So you have
That's so
both.
Taylor.
So you have both of
Love
those
it.
energies in you. And your journey in this life is balancing and honoring both of those, being successful out in the world, claiming your authority, becoming an authority figure, but taking your little girl with you. And that's the other thing with Scorpio Cancer is like, have you done any inner child work?
I could do more.
Okay. I mean, we all can, right? My
Yeah.
inner child, her name's Cecily. She's a handful. It's a little sandbag doll, and she's been out in my living room, in my kitchen. She hangs out. She's been around for years, and it's to remind me not to put my inner child in daycare. Because otherwise she'll
Mhm.
run the show for you, and she'll run amok, because that,
Mhm.
Cute.
so you got to make sure that you take good care of her. So that's what
Thank
I
you.
see with you. Beautiful chart, amazing chart. You're here to do really wonderful things. But again, this ego thing, like, I don't know if this is the politically correct to say, but
Say it.
in all my scorpionic and all my wanting to change the world and whatever, I had in my mind, I was like, I wanted to be a white Oprah. Give me a
Mm.
microphone. I want to make a difference in the world. Well, you know what? That was how much of that was my ego? So
Mm,
even though I'm saying you're a powerhouse, you're here to make a mark and all of that, but just let spirit move through you. And
Yeah.
just even if you affect just one person or a few people, we just don't, let your, and it's not that your ego is in the way, but what I'm saying is that what is the definition of success?
Right.
Having more influence, being an influencer and having more followers? No. Success is being happy in your heart and having deep, beautiful connections with people. And that's not easy to do. Those two things aren't easy to do, you know? So, okay. Any questions about you, Taylor?
No, it feels great.
yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Very spot on and probably very validating too, I think.
Yeah. And it's funny, all of your planets are over on the right side. So you right side and then up in the fourth quadrant. And so you're really here to roll your sleeves up and produce, make something happen, you know?
I
And
feel
it's
that.
You're doing it.
yeah. And gain your own authority, but tend to your own sensitivities, along the way.
Mhm.
So, Capricorn's going to want to be like, oh, screw it. Capricorn wants, and Virgo wants, oh, and the other thing with Virgo, you got to be careful of with your Virgo is self-criticism. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
That one I am working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
That's
just,
my
just,
harshest.
yeah. And you just got to know that your mind is lying to you more often than,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
It's
think you
huge,
needed
huge.
that.
Yeah. It's huge. Yeah, so you've gotta be
Okay, do her.
gentle, okay. Okay, okay.
Scorpio's done being seen. Back into the shadows.
I know. Excuse me. Okay, so it's interesting because your Virgo is in Mars. So, what I said to you, Taylor, is that your Virgo is on steroids, and it's like
Mhm.
but that's with Venus and Jupiter, and yours, Amber, your Mars is in Virgo. Well, your Mars, the masculine, is so her
And right
feminine
on my ascendant.
right on your
Like
ascendant. So
literally
that's
same.
like on steroids. That's on steroids. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
also the same thing. And it's almost like I give similar readings, almost, not quite, because you don't have a lot of Capricorn, but you've got that strong Virgo, right? And
Mhm.
so being easy on yourself. If we didn't have people like you, we'd still be in the caveman days, right? So you guys are wanting to forge a better world and in a better way.
100%.
But the key thing here is being gentle. Now, the other aspect of Virgo also is, the high priest and high priestess, and the understanding the way. It's an earth sign, understanding the ways of the earth and the seasons and the elements and stuff like that. But it's
Mhm.
also health. So being
Mhm.
into health. And so that's really strong in your chart. But if we go back to, your south node is in Scorpio and your Pluto's there. So I would say that without being too revealing, you probably had a tough childhood. Would you say?
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not I mean, yeah, I always wanna over explain and say not the worst, but that's also trauma being like, "It's
Right. Right.
okay."
Not acknowledging it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I always do it.
Mm.
I'm, like, trying to stop myself.
So your job in this life is to create more stability and
Yeah.
peace through personal transformation. Because your south node's
Amen.
in Scorpio, but it's in the Taurus house, and then your north node is in Taurus in the Scorpio house.
Cute.
Did you
I don't think I've paid attention to that part, but
Yeah,
that's I
yeah,
mean, all about balance and duality here.
yeah, and so the words of you creating more Taurus stability and safety and peace, but through personal transformation,
Yeah, that's
because
spot
that would be
on.
the Scorpio,
Mhm.
and then your Venus, your inner woman is Libra. Which is
Mhm.
always nice,
Where she's happy at home.
right, right, Venus rules Libra, but the other thing is, I have 3 planets in Libra, including my son, um, and, Libra wants everything to be fair, and I
Yeah.
remember before I was an astrologer, I would be getting astrology readings. He goes, "What you gotta learn is life isn't fair."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want balance, you want fairness, you want equanimity. So it's an interesting combination when you've got and your sun is in Libra. I see that. Yeah, too.
Mhm.
So, but when you have Libra and Scorpio energy, you want intimacy. You want a deep relationship. You want conscious
Mhm.
equal partnership.
Mhm.
And then you've got Sag. So it's interesting. You're kind of like me. You've got that Libra, Scorpio, Sag energy going,
Mhm.
which is very interesting. I mean, being Libra isn't easy because we're very tuned into other people, and I don't know if you feel that. Um,
Yeah.
and then you can be a little bit, like self-critical, but also very capable. All that Virgo, you come in with a very strong skills. And then let's just go to your Sag. And your moon is in Sag, but Uranus is right there. And it's not exactly close. It's not even within orb, kind of, but I still think of those as very much together. And that's opposite your Chiron in Gemini.
Mhm.
And so you are a wisdom keeper, but I think you probably second guess yourself.
100%.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
that.
I've been that way my whole life. I think I've been a lot better as I've grown and, like, more recently kind of owning that, but still every day I have people reminding me, like, "Look at all the things that you've done. What are you talking about? Look at where you are now. Like, we are all here because of you." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, well,
It's
you know
very
what?
humbling.
Yeah. And so, wait, let me look at what your October the 18th. Your love card is a four of clubs and a jack of spades. So you will get fulfillment through work.
Oh, yeah.
You want stability, and see that's that North Node Taurus. You want
Mhm.
stability. And it's a four. Did you know you're a four of clubs?
No, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you're a four, October the 18th, right?
Mhm.
You're a four of clubs and a jack of spades. So the four of clubs wants stability and will work hard for it. You'll get fulfillment through work. Okay. The only thing you have to watch out for is, of course, where there's stability, there's no change. And so
Mm.
fours don't necessarily like change. And maybe for
Mhm.
you, with all of that Scorpio and all that scorpionic energy, change could have meant like death or, something life threatening, right? So
Mhm.
change, so change could be scary for you too, with, having trust issues and stuff like that. But that's why I say, you're going to create more stability and more peace and even more abundance, because that's the money axis, Scorpio Taurus, through personal transformation. And then your other card is a Jack of Spades, which is the artist card, super creative,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
eternal youth.
Yeah. People always say you don't look 40.
40s are fun. 40s are that's the yeah, no, 40s are awesome, right before
People still
menopause.
think
And
I'm in my early 30s sometimes, so I just look young. What can I
woohoo.
say?
But
Eternal youth.
then I see a transit coming in with you've got Jupiter in Aquarius, right? And that's about creating the desire to create community, but also it's in the house of Leo. So you being the leader in that.
Mm.
But Leo's also about children. So however that plays in, but I want to tell you that Pluto is marching towards your Jupiter in Aquarius. You know that, right?
Pluto is marching towards
It's
say
at,
that
fi-
again?
it's marching towards your Jupiter in Aquarius.
Oh.
So we always look at where Pluto is, transiting Pluto in a person's chart to see where,
Oh,
because
okay.
Pluto
So,
will
like,
never,
currently.
yeah, Pluto will never make a full revolution,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a
Okay, okay.
247-year cycle. The moon goes around
Mhm.
many times, Mars, Venus, Mercury, then they start slowing down with Jupiter and Saturn, but they still go around. Uranus is 84
Cool.
years. Neptune, I think, is
Mhm.
145 or 165. And then Pluto is 247. So
Yeah,
some astrologers say that's your soul, because you decided what houses your Pluto was going
yeah.
to move through in your lifetime.
So
And
what
so,
is Pluto coming into my Jupiter, my natal
well,
Jupiter? What
it's
does
at
that
5
mean?
degrees right now, and yours is 7. So
Okay.
you may
So
already be
what
feeling
happens?
the effect. It's about creating community and
Yeah.
you being a leader in community. But there's also a square to
Yeah.
this. Let's see. You know, this is a past life thing where you're really working your edge, though. You have what some people call a skip step, and some people don't call it that, but you've got a square to your nodes.
Mm.
So, you know, finding the balance between Scorpio and Taurus, right?
Mhm.
Change, but also stability, right? Transformation, but
Mhm.
also stability. But you've got a square, which is that Jupiter in Aquarius. And that Jupiter in Aquarius is Jupiter's magnifies things. Aquarius is community and technology, right? And
Mhm. Mhm.
AI. But that's where Pluto's already been going through your fifth house. So
Yeah, and then Pluto's gonna change. It's in Cancer right now, so it's gonna go in Leo. So then I'm gonna be in an opposition too,
no.
correct?
Pluto's in Aquarius.
No, I'm talking about Jupiter though.
Oh,
Jupiter is gonna change
Jupiter's going to be in Cancer.
this summer
Yeah. I don't
and
have.
is in Cancer, so it's gonna go into Leo, and that's opposite of Aquarius. So a Jupiter opposition too
Right,
with the
right. Good
Pluto
job.
coming
Yes.
into connection with my Jupiter
Our
in Aquarius.
Lord. Yeah.
What's
So,
gonna
and
happen the
that's in
next
the,
year?
well, I know. Well, that's a lot of big transformation. Like Pluto wants you to claim your
Cool.
power. Yeah.
Woo. Okay, girl, let's go. I mean, everything like you're saying, honestly, is like really validating of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm a business owner, so like I'm creating stability for myself, but it's also different every single day. It's not predictable. It's like not true stability. There is transformation. I'm in third year of a physical business. And then I'm like doing four businesses essentially. We have the podcast, we have our Moonlight and Magic, which is community. Like that is so community based
Yeah.
on so
Yeah.
many levels. My physical business, it's just mine, is all about community. So I really love hearing that. I feel like just like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and you know what we do too is we look at your Jupiter in Aquarius. So Aquarius, well, we can look at your Jupiter would be looking at Sag and your Aquarius would be looking at Uranus, but it brings me right to that Uranus moon connection. So being the sage, being the teacher. So getting over
Mhm.
that wound, the Gemini Chiron wound, you're going to have an
Mhm.
opportunity to step more into your power and a role as a leader in the community and a teacher, you know, a
Yeah,
sage.
that all checks. I teach psychic development here too with our other business partner, Alicia. And I feel like this podcast, like we're kind of being a conduit of energy, like where lots of people get to share, like you're teaching people right now, and
Yeah.
we're in people's ears right now, being a conduit of that energy for people to learn and expand. I'm learning constantly through talking to people. Like you're teaching me so much right now as well, and then getting to share that knowledge and wisdom that I've gained.
Well, you know, do
So
you
that
know that
all is cool.
your moon in Sag is on steroids also? Did you know that? So your Mars in
No, I'm just like hyperactive.
so your Mars on, because when anything's on an angle, because there's different house
Mhm.
systems in astrology, but there's
Yeah.
the fixed angles, you know, Cancer,
Mhm, mhm.
Capricorn, Libra, Aries, right? And
Yeah.
so those angles are true and steadfast. And so your Mars in Virgo is on steroid. It's magnified. And your moon in, it's not even just next to it. It's right there on the angle. It's 23 degrees. Same with your Mars.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so
Cool.
that's the teacher, honey. And so, yeah, there you go. And so
Okay.
Uranus wants to elevate things. So it's a wide conjunction, but definitely, I can see where the universe wants to support you in stepping. I mean, you're already doing it.
Yeah, I definitely doubt myself, like, every time I'm doing it. So and I think that's probably the Chiron in Gemini, and
Right. The
thinking about
opposition.
how I'm communicating
Right.
that, and communication's always been something that I'm like, I'm not smart enough, or my words don't come out right, and I think that very much is the Chiron Gemini. The more I learn about that, but it's like I have to do it.
You just got to do it. And I mean, I've made a fool out of myself. Like even in the very beginning, who cares? You know,
Right.
your big three, whatever. I don't know what my big
I
three.
mean, that
You know,
was a beautiful accident. I'm obsessed with
Yeah, we like it. Yeah.
it.
You guys, I feel called to do this really quick. And I don't know, the listeners that are going to be listening from an audio aren't going to get it, but this is what I do sometimes, like just going forward, because you were saying, and especially with all that Virgo, it's like, screw it. We're here doing the best we can. And so sometimes like I'll look in the
Yeah.
mirror and I'll be maybe self-judgment and, oh, you're getting older or whatever. And then I'll look into the mirror, and I don't know if you guys can see this, and I'll gaze into my eyes and I'll say, babe, we're doing this together. I love it.
Hell yeah.
That is such the waking up the witch vibe. We love that so much.
Amazing.
So cute.
Thank you so much for all of this. It's just
Yeah.
been, I'm glad we got you back here. We tried to do this a couple months ago and just maybe it wasn't the right time.
No,
So
it's
I'm so
perfect
glad
timing
that
now.
this worked out for us. I do want to keep us on track, so we're going to turn it back to you for a moment and
Okay, yeah,
ask
that's
you a
fine.
couple questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
So our first question we love to ask all of our guests is, what is something that you do for self-care that you just can't live without?
I take a bath, but
I need one.
more importantly, I do yin yoga in the evening on the and the other thing that I'm really doing is not turning the lights on when the sun goes down, and just laying in the living room on a blanket and feeling the sun going down and the dusk. It's kind of like just feeling the envelope of the darkness coming in, but feeling it as a nurturing energy.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So sweet.
It's a battle of overhead lighting in my house.
Yeah.
If you could tell your younger self at any point one thing, what would it be?
Oh, get over it and just love yourself.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that. We would be so honored if you would pull a card for the collective
Oh, yeah.
now.
Okay. So I have the goddess cards. And,
Great.
even though it's Doreen Virtue, and someone has said that, don't do, you have to have cards in the person's consciousness. And I don't know what she's up to now, but I know she had a big change.
Yeah, we're gonna deep dive on that on Patreon if anybody's interested.
No, interesting. But I always love the goddess cards. And so
It's one of my favorite decks. I love that deck
I
so
know.
much.
And I just keep on coming back to it.
Yeah, that's okay. It was made in good belief and love,
Yes,
so that's the
yes.
energy that I hold, is like when she
Yeah.
created it, it was in a different energy. Doesn't matter where she's at today.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's still doing really good work. I just don't. I'm not
Yeah.
really tuned into what she's actually doing. All right, so we just call in divine energy, Father, Mother, God, divine light, sacred energy, and sacred space for the collective. And this card is to see what wisdom we can gain and share for the collective. So I'll just spread it out here right in front of me and see. Oh, here we go. Compassion. Kuan
Yeah.
Yin. So release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So that talks to I have North Node Virgo, all your Virgo and Venus, Mars and Virgo. So that helps us with all of our Virgo. Compassion.
Oh,
Yeah, that resonates.
we need that so much in this world today.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, ourselves and each other.
Yeah, so good.
Okay, if anyone wants to work with you, how can they find you?
Just go to Anna-Thea.org, my website. I have a lot of free resources there. You can go to the blog, and I have over 200, and people don't consume content so much anymore on writing, or reading, I mean. But you can, if you're into reading, you can, search emotions, sexuality, communication, female body. I mean, I'm just trying to think of any subjects that, all of those as a divine feminine educator. I did all of those blogs. So you can do that. But you can also, on my main website, Anna-Thea.org, ANNATHEA.org, just scroll down to the bottom, special links. And one is how to feel heard and understood, a free webinar. The other one is how to process your emotions, that article about the 4N process. So those two are good gifts. And then the other one is just scroll down where it says right below my video, and it says Learn Astrology. And that's where it'll take you to a link where you can sign up for decode your astrology chart. And I do teach astrology, and any one of those will put you on, well, not any one of those, actually the decode your astrology chart will put you on my email list. And I don't send out a lot of junk. I only send out great stuff.
Great.
And that way you can follow me and find out when I do my next class. I did a class on soulmate astrology. That was a lot of fun.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. This was so juicy.
Yeah, so good.
We're really grateful for your time.
I really appreciate you guys being so patient with me, and this was really fun being with the two of you.
Yeah, we loved it. We're so grateful too. Thank you so much, Anna-Thea.
Bye. This episode has been produced by my husband, Curtis Burgess.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Waking Up the Witch.
And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at wakingupthewitch@gmail.com.
And don't forget to head over to the link in our bio on Instagram for all the ways to connect with both Amber and Taylar. And go to moonbeeswellness.com for all your self-care and witchy needs.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Ow. Ow.